keeps us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon and stuff. Hi, Amber. I'm still laughing about the timer. I don't know why I thought it so funny, but I did. It's neat. I love it when people do stuff like that. You know, we've got to be encouraging. You know, it's like I was in a meeting and there's a young, hey Chris, good to see you, brother. A young lady in the meeting, and I've just noticed lately that she's speaking more and more about the solution. And so I pointed that out to her today. She's like, "Thank you." Because we're usually the last to see something going on with us, right? So we got to be encouraging. Got to be encouraging. And if you see somebody doing something like that, let them know, man. You know, I just got a pretty nice compliment. And I wish people just go and do reviews instead of just telling me. Keep asking people to do reviews. She said your podcasts are like the stories in the book in podcast form, but not as dated. So that was pretty cool. I'm like the stories in the back of the book. Oh, okay. I didn't go for that. What does that mean? It means it's working. It means good stuff, man. It does. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. Yep. Say hello if you want to. You don't have to, though. And don't even fucking bother. I'm in a weird mood. So, yeah, practicing these principles in all of our affairs. Yeah. Question is, what are these principles? Let's go to the 12th step first. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the long form. Right? Which is right here. Right? It's in the beginning. We call this the short form, this the long form. Right? So I read the long one. Joy of living. So having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Like step one, there's two things in there. Number one is we tried to carry this message to alcoholics. So when we're carrying the message, that means we got to get up and go out. We gotta leave the damn house. Okay. We have to practice this stuff outside of our AA rooms. Okay. Because if we don't, then we are in danger of going back out. This is how it is. And then to practice these principles, the principles that we're being given here are a set of morals. They're a guideline. And we're going to cover the principles real quick in a minute. Okay. Joy of living is the theme of the 12th step. Action is the key word. Action. Dog farts. Oh, I have a very large window here. Okay. Thanks, Jasmine. Ugh. Giving that asks no reward. Love that has no price tag. What is a spiritual awakening? A new state of consciousness and being received as a free gift. Okay. So what it says here is having had a spiritual awakening. That is different from a spiritual experience. The 12th step gives you a spiritual awakening. Life just changes. What is it? Joy. It's the joy of living. And that action is our key word. Right? You can use me as an example on this. You always see me. I'm always doing something. Sometimes I come on here 3-4 times a day. I'm just trying to put more action into my day. Right? A new state of consciousness. Okay, readiness to receive gift lies in the practice of the 12 steps. So earlier when I talked about why no major changes in the first year, why you should follow a certain set of rules, and why I go on about that, it is right there because you've got to be ready to receive the gift. And you may not be ready. Actually, you're not going to get the gift until you're ready. Okay? The magnificent reality, rewards of helping other alcoholics, kinds of 12-step work, problems of 12-step work. What about the practice of these principles in all of our affairs? Monotony, pain, and calamity turned into good use by practicing of steps. Difficulties of practice, two-stepping. Ooh, two-stepping. If you're not familiar with two-stepping, it is not just a country dance. Okay? Not just a country dance. Okay? But it is people that just work on steps 1 and 12. There's a lot of them. Usually they'll speak, but they don't talk on topic. They usually talk about their problems. They usually talk about other people. Okay? And they hardly ever talk about the solution because they don't know what it is. They'll tout the stuff, but you can feel they're not really meaning it. Okay? Switch to 12-stepping and demonstration of faith. Growing spiritually is the answer to our problems. Placing spiritual growth first. That's the one. That's the one right there. Spiritual growth must come first. If it doesn't come first, everything else is just don't fuck it. Done. You know? My wife and I were just talking, and because our client passed, that means no more money. You know, that's our income. And she was talking to me, and she said, "Well, I'm getting scared." Right? And that's usually what happens. I mean, but I said, "Honey, look how far God has brought us. He is not going to drop us now. That ain't going to happen. There's no way. Everybody's got our back, honey." Oh. Okay. I truly believe that. God has got her. I know God has got her covered. She's a freaking saint. She is. I shouldn't compare, but you know what? I strive to be like my wife. And then in that comparison, it's okay because she teaches me how to do, you know. She's the one that taught me how to love. So, okay. Placing spirit, domination, and overdependence. Putting our lives on a give and take basis. Got to give some, got to take some. You got to take. Don't be a freaking coda. Don't be a codependent. I'm saying that to myself more than anyone because I can be. That's why I had to work on some very strong internal boundaries. Internal dependence upon God to recovery alcoholics. Practicing these principles in all our affairs, domestic relations to AA, outlook upon material matters changes. So do feelings about personal importance, instincts restored to true purpose. Understanding is the key to right attitudes. Right action is key to good living. So the right attitude brings the right action, and the right action brings good living. Right? Nice and simple. Nice and simple. I'm going to pull out a book I don't usually pull out very often, but I keep this book because it's a great place to find the principles real easy. Other than that, I wasn't that impressed. All they said was, drop the rock, let it go, drop the rock, drop the rock, drop the rock, let it go. It's letting go. Hello. You don't need, you know what you need to do? Just practice letting go. Okay. Just practice it. This is not AA approved literature, by the way. Not yet, but I heard that they're thinking about making it. If they do, good for them. I'm still not going to let my new people read it though. They can, if they want to do that, they can do that on their own. Look at it, it's so simple to find, Dion. So each step, as you can see, each step has a principle to it. So let's just cover the principles real quick so that we understand what principles are we practicing when we leave the rooms. And we need to practice them in the room. So step one is honesty. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's the very first thing that we talk about in chapter 5. Okay. That whole that first paragraph has honesty like 3-4 times. So much to say rigorously honest, that we need to be rigorously honest with ourselves. Okay. And we need to do that because we need to understand the spirit, the full malady of which we are in. Step 2 is hope. Right? Because we're finding a higher power, or maybe we're seeing that there's people in the rooms that were like us and have found a way out. Okay. How did they do that? By going to meetings, hearing other people's experience. That's why you share at meetings. Okay. Step 3, faith. You've got to find a higher power at this stage, a power greater than yourself. We're going to hand you the key of willingness. We're going to lead you to the door, but you got to do the work. And that step 3 isn't really an action step, but it is the step. I'm telling you, I don't want to say that step 3 is the most important step. I don't want to say that. But in my experience, step 3 tends to make or break people. It's that step, right? It isn't the 4th step. I mean, it is the 4th step, but if you don't complete the 3rd step, the 4th step isn't going to take effect anyway, which means the 3rd step was never done. It is a spiritual malady. Okay, so faith. Step 4, courage. See, you got some faith. You got a little bit of faith now, right? And you've probably been through a couple of things, and maybe even your obsession has been lifted by this point. Mine was lifted by this point. Okay. So now you have some courage, and you're going to need that courage for step 4. Right? Because we're going to be fearless and thorough. What's the opposite of fear? Courage. Where do we get courage? God. Hence, step 3 is extremely important. Step 5, integrity. We're going to tell another person all of our stuff, and we have got to cover it all to the best of our ability. There are some things that were on my 4th step that were not on my 4th step that I remembered later. So what do? A 10th step. I hit the 10th step that. Then I go through it, and then by the end, it turns out, do I owe an amends? All right. Step 6, willingness. Yep, that's where it's at. Now, I said step 3 is probably the most important step, but it is step 6 that separates, I don't want to say the men from the boys because we live in a different age now, but it separates who is serious and who is not. Have you really taken a good look at, they say how important it is, but it's only 2 paragraphs in it, but it's only 2 paragraphs. There's so much stuff in those 2 paragraphs. Okay. Don't be begging for more to do. I'm kidding. Do. If you want a soul search, then do it. But that's why you're going to need willingness. You're going to need willingness because you're about to let go of every single defect of character that you have. You're going to ask God to remove them. And you must be willing to do all of it. But willingness is indispensable and doesn't require much action. There isn't any action in step 6. I think I have it backwards. Okay. Step 7, humility. Hey, Gary. Sorry, I've been yakking so much that I didn't see you pop in. Where was I? Step 7, humility. God, I humbly ask you to remove all my defects of character. Humility. What is it? It's asking God for help. That's it. Now, why? Why? Okay. This is also awareness. 4, 5, 6, and 7 are about awareness. See, if we would have done that to you in the beginning, so you'd already done it once with your alcoholism. You did it with your disease, whatever it is that is your ism, right? And so you did that. Now we're saying there's going to be more. Well, I can't do that. Well, look what happened in the beginning. Look what happened in the beginning. Oh, then I can muster some courage. Yep. Step 8, brotherly love. Emotional sobriety. I always put emotional sobriety in my step 6 and 7 because it goes along with it. Okay. Emotional sobriety is about character defects, is our faulty dependence upon other people. The fact that we make demands of other people, okay, and how they should act and how they should say things. You can't do that. We must get to a point in our life where it is live and let live. Brotherly love means I love you for who you are, not for what I think you should be, or even what potential I think you may have. Right. Justice. It's not justice for us. Nope. We got our justice. You got that in 5. Right? Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't do anything to defend yourself? Maybe you weren't around, right? And you didn't get to tell your side of the story. And you feel like if you told your side of the story, it would make a lot more sense to other people. Well, that's what you're doing for them now. What you're doing is you're saying, hey, I fucked up. So I'm coming here to show you that you are worth holding space for. That is justice. They get to tell their side of the story. Yeah. I'll use my, and Amber, this will be a repeat for you, but about a month ago, I did my 9th step with my daughter. Okay. And it was justice. It was pure justice. She needed to tell her dad why she was angry with him. She needed that. And I needed to be available for it. I didn't do much talking. That's right. Dion shut his mouth. Okay. And I put a lot of thought into it. And I talked to my therapist, talked to my wife, I talked to several people. It essentially just came down to she needed to be heard. That's justice. Are your toes going to get stepped on? Yes. No. So fucking what? You'll get over it. You'll get through it. Step 10, perseverance, because you cannot give up. Perseverance. Don't give up. Don't stop. I'll take a day off. Day off with that. I don't even know what a day off looks like. I mean, does a day off mean I don't go to my meetings? No. In fact, if I have more time, I should probably go to more meetings. Well, I don't feel like I need meetings like that. You don't go to meetings for you. You go to meetings for the newcomer. Step 11, there it is again. Spiritual awareness through prayer and meditation. Did you know that God answers me quite often through the whole day? And it is not always through his children. Sometimes it's just a thought that comes across. Why is that? Because I am directly connected to my higher power at all times. I get a green light. I say, thank you, God. Because I want him to know that I appreciate everything that he has done to make my life better. For years, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. And that line right there fucked me up because all I saw was happiness. I would not do anything that would create happiness. And now I create happiness. If I want to be happy, I'm going to have to do it myself. And the last one, service. I talk service all the time, so I'm not going to go like, oh, great. Here we go. Another 20 minutes. We're on step 12. Not today. So those are the principles that we should be practicing in all of our affairs. Okay. You might want to, and you need to remember these principles. In fact, we hardly ever talk about the principles. Of course, I go to a newcomer meeting and, oh, thank you, bees. Love the bees. Why am I thanking bees? Oh, I'm thanking God for the bees. Yes, absolutely. We need bees. Don't be killing bees, dumbasses. They sting me. Don't. So, only hurts for like a second, unless you're allergic, then that's not good, right? I think when it just comes down to everything, it's just understanding that maybe I was doing things wrong and I need to do them the right way now. And it's harder. It's harder to be, somebody that people look up to all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that I feel like I need to be perfect or anything else. No. That's not what I mean by that. But, if you keep one rule in mind, and that is and it's an internal boundary is what it is. But that internal boundary for me is I'm not allowed to hurt God's children. And I do the best that I can on that. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I think I'm going to, I don't know. Is it me or does it just feel weird today? Does it feel weird? You guys are on like a 10-second delay, so I'm going to give it a second. So, yeah. I don't know. It's not bad or anything. It's just different. Something's different. I don't know. Maybe it got all. Yeah. Maybe it's just because we've been so busy this week. And that's what it is. So, it's not like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop or anything like that. It's not anything bad. It just feels different is all. So, well, all right. Thank you. It's good to have you all. Gary, Chris, Amber, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. To all my rewatchers, I love you. Peace out. And